Saints 365 is a passion project to glorify God and honor His saints. This project is based upon the book, The Lives of the Saints by Father Alban Butler.
April 21st. Saint Anselm, Archbishop. Anselm was a native of Piedmont. When a boy of 15, being forbidden to enter religion, he for a while lost his fervor, left his home, and went to various schools in France. At length his vocation revived, and he became a monk at Bec in Normandy. The fame of his sanctity in this cloister led William Rufus, when dangerously ill, to take him for his confessor, and to name him to the vacant see of Canterbury. Now began the strife of Anselm's life. With new health, the king relapsed into his former sins, plundered the church lands, scorned the archbishop's rebukes, and forbade him to go to Rome for the pallium. Anselm went, and returned only to enter into a more bitter strife with William's successor, Henry I. This sovereign claimed the right of investing prelates with the ring and crozier, symbols of the spiritual jurisdiction which belongs to the Church alone. The worldly prelates did not scruple to call St. Anselm a traitor for his defense of the Pope's supremacy, on which the saint rose, and with calm dignity exclaimed, "If any man pretends that I violate my faith to my king, because I will not reject the authority of the Holy See of Rome, let him stand forth, and in the name of God I will answer him as I ought." No one took up the challenge, and to the disappointment of the king, the barons sided with the saint, for they respected his courage, and saw that his cause was their own. Sooner than yield, the archbishop went again into exile, till at last the king was obliged to submit to the feeble but inflexible old man. In the midst of his harassing cares, St. Anselm found time for writings which have made him celebrated as the father of scholastic theology, while in metaphysics and in science he had few equals. He is yet more famous for his devotion to Our Blessed Lady, whose feast of the Immaculate Conception he was the first to establish in the West. He died in 1109. Reflection. Whoever, like St. Anselm, contends for the Church's rights, is fighting on the side of God against the tyranny of Satan. Also celebrated on April 21st, St. Conrad of Parzham, Confessor. St. Conrad was born in Parzham, Bavaria, in 1818. He was the 9th of 10 children and came from a deeply religious family. Known in the village as the Little Angel, he used to gather his schoolmates about him and say the rosary with them. He went to Mass every day and often made pilgrimages to the neighboring shrines, especially Altetting, famous for a much venerated shrine of Our Blessed Lady. He made a mission at Ehring, walking the distance of 24 miles every day for 8 days. For 9 years, he visited his confessor at Aigen, a distance of 20 miles, which he made on foot to and fro. Lack of talent prevented him from becoming a priest, so he decided to become a lay brother in the Capuchin order. After his profession, he was immediately stationed at Altetting, at which friary he spent more than 40 years as doorkeeper. Although Altetting was a much frequented place of pilgrimage, and left the brother porter little leisure between the hours of 6 in the morning and 9 at night, yet he managed to combine in a marvelous manner the contemplative and the active life. His rosary was always in his hands, and his favorite saying was, "The crucifix is my book." For 30 years he took only 3 hours sleep. He would rise up for the midnight office and spend the rest of the night in prayer. He was remarkable for his imperturbed patience with the hundreds he met as porter, for his humility and love of his fellow men, especially children and the handicapped. He had great devotion for the Eucharist, the Passion, and the Blessed Virgin. Throughout his exemplary life, he carried on a great apostolate among the pilgrims, which bore fruit throughout Germany. He seemed to have the gift of reading hearts, and there were occasions on which he manifested a strange knowledge of the future. He died in 1894 and was canonized in 1934. Reflection. The life of St. Conrad is proof that no matter how busy we are, no matter how lowly our condition, we can, by cooperating with the grace of God, rise to great heights of sanctity, and so, by good example, can edify others and bring them also closer to God. St. Anselm and St. Conrad of Parzham, pray for us.
Saints 365 is narrated by Rob Roller, edited by Josh Bach, and produced by Our Local Parish Productions. Funding for this project is made possible by Catholic businesses. please go to the business directory at ourlocalparish.com to support these generous businesses. Thank you for listening. God bless.